Okay, so today we're going to do measures of central tendency and IQR. That stands for interquartile range. All right, so most of you have probably heard mean, median, mode, right? To find the mean, we take all the numbers, add them up, and divide by the number of numbers. So in this case, we would do, move some stuff around on the screen here, or not. So in this case, we would do 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 7 plus 7 plus 7 plus 9 plus 11 plus 15. That would give us an answer of 65. Then we would divide that by 10, because there's 10 numbers. And that gives us a mean of 6.5. So we've been doing this forever. Now the median is the middle number. So there's 10, we divide that by 2, or you can cross off to find the median. Boom, boom. You go low to high. Now we have two numbers in the middle, because it breaks it into two groupings of 5 and 5. So our median is here. Now, if you have an even number of numbers, then you take the middle two numbers, add them together, and divide by 2. But since these numbers are both the same, you know that is your median, 7. So that's how we find the median. The mode is the easiest one. It's just whichever number occurs the most often. Now, it is possible to have more than one mode, because you just count how often numbers occur. There's 2 1s, but there's 3 7s. So 7 would be your mode. Now, Q1 and Q3 you might have never done before. This is called the interquartile range. And that says that when we find the median, so we break it into 2 separate sets, then Q1 would be the median of this first half. And so the median of this would be 2. That would be Q1. So Q1 is 2. And Q3 would be the median of this set of data, or the middle number in this set, which would be 9. So that's Q3. Now basically, here's how median, Q1, and Q3 work. The median tells me that 50% of the data falls on this side and 50% falls on this side, right? Then Q1 and Q3 tell me that of that 50%, I can cut it in half, and basically including the 2, like if you were to break the 2 in half, 25% would be over here and 25% would be over here. Same thing over here, 25% here and 25% here. So that all the data between Q1 and Q3 adds up to 50% of the data. Now, there is a more effective way to do this, especially when we have larger data sets. So if I bring up my calculator and I go to Stat, then the screen comes up and you go Enter on Edit. Now you have an entire list. So put your numbers in the list. 1, 1, push enter between each one, 2, 5, and then 3 sevens. Then a 9, 11, and 15. All right. So now that we have all that data entered in, you push stat again and go push the over button to calc. And you see this one var stats that's highlighted, so you just push enter and push enter again. X bar, or your first number, is the mean, 6.5. If we scroll down, we get Q1 is 2. The median is 7. Q3 is 9. Tells you that the min is 1 and the max is 15. And so it gives you all the data that you really need. All you have to know is how to push the buttons. And then the last thing you would have to know is the mode, which is just counting whichever one occurs the most number of times. So your calculator will tell you everything you need for measures the central tendency in IQR. Okay, if the 5 in the data set is replaced with a 3, what is most likely to be affected? This is the type of question that they ask on most of these tests. So, important to know how this number would be affected. Pay attention to what the number's changing from and to. All right, so we're getting rid of a 5 and we're adding a 3. If you list the numbers in order from least to greatest, like this already is, then you remember that our median was here between 7 and 7, right? So because your median is there, then how would replacing a 5 with a 3 affect the median? It wouldn't. It doesn't change it. So pay attention to where the number falls. If I change the number on the low side and replace it with a number that's also going to fall on this side of the median, then it doesn't affect the median at all. Now, if I had said we're going to get rid of a 5 and replace it with a 9, that might be a little different. It might change our number because now we're putting another number on this side and getting rid of one down here. All right? So just pay attention to where the numbers fall. The majority of the time, it's not going to affect the median unless we're getting rid of a low number and replacing it with a high number. Is the mode going to be affected here? Well, our mode was 7, and this does not make any number, like this does not make the 1s equal to, there's 3 1s now. It's still a 3. So it's unaffected. It does not affect the mode at all. The mode remains unaffected because there's still 3 7s, and there aren't any other numbers that there's 3 of them. Lastly would be the mean. Now the mean does get affected because we took a number out and replaced it with a number that is 2 lower. So your answer would be mean. What percent of the data falls between 2 and 9? That's your interquartile range, or IQR. Your interquartile range is the distance from Q1 to Q3. For IQR, or the distance between Q1 and Q3, it should always be 50% of the data. So when they ask that question, that should be your answer every time, 50%. All right? Okay, you can get started on the assignment.